All right, welcome back to a New Year's episode of Team Talk. It's good to have you back in the comments. Good to see you. And today we've got a very special guest. We've got the Frosty Faustings champion himself, Mr. Evasion. Hi, Evasion. Welcome to the Team Talk.
Thanks for having me. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's good. How are you, footsies?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Glad to be back on making Team Talk again. Glad to get some more players on. Glad to have you on. Very interested to see what you've got to say.
It's definitely good to have these kind of videos out. We've needed more like kind of technical talks about the game for a while now. So I was excited when I saw you had like Kara and then Rocket and everyone else like on. Like they've all been really good. So hopefully I can keep the trend going of good videos.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Yeah. So just give us a bit of intro about yourself. Where did you start playing Grid? Where did you start playing fighting games? What got you into it?
Okay, so I played Grid like a little bit after the pandemic started. SDK and me had always talked about Marvel 3 different games. He kept trying to like tempt me to play it, and the game had rollback, which is the biggest thing, right? Because during the pandemic, can't travel, can't do anything, couldn't play Marvel 3 offline really, besides with my roommate. So I was like, okay, I might as well learn a new game. And that's when I started. Marvel 3 was my first super serious game. I played Third Strike and other games, but Marvel 3 was my first like very competitive game, and it gives me it scratches that same kind of itch, but with way better online. So that's kind of why I kept playing.
That's a common thread among people who started with Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel players at heart.
The movement and just the expressive nature of the game is just it's very similar. Like obviously Plinking might be a little bit more challenging in Marvel, but like the same speed and like kind of finesse you get from like making people whiff and then punishing them with like your Plink button is just like it's the same kind of feeling for sure.
Yeah, it's got that good feeling for sure. Yeah, so you've just you recently won a big tournament, Frosty Faustings. First offline grid has had in a couple of first big offline grids had
Yeah, this is the first grid event I've actually been to as well. This was the first one.
Oh, nice.
And this is the first time I've played grid offline, so I'm happy I was able to win the first one that I've been to.
Yeah,
I was happy that I was able to kind of show off the strength of Rita. I hadn't seen a lot of people playing her, which was super strange to me. So that was like the main thing, is I wanted to show people that the character was pretty good.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, moving on to that. So, what's the team you ran for Frosty Faustings? What did you pick? Obviously, Rita, and then you also.
I played Gia, Rita, Gen, and I picked that team because I was tired of my gameplay and kind of getting toned down every patch, because I tend to play some strong characters. Like I played RJ before, RJ Lauren. Obviously those characters kind of got significantly toned down. So I picked up Gia Gen because I just noticed they've been the same for so long. Like Gen has been untouched for such a long time. Gia is not going to change at all, I don't think. So regardless of what happens, I never have to worry about patches really. Like even if they were to kill Rita tomorrow, I can play Chun or Adam or whoever and be perfectly okay.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to have that sort of plan for a bit of longevity, because Grid does tend to be a game that changes a lot over the course of its lifespan.
Yeah, definitely has. But yeah, the reason why I picked that was I wanted just something very stable, and I think Gia Gen is like the most stable shell in the game. Kind of stops people from just forcing their way in as well.
Yeah, two excellent characters.
Yeah. Rita like really complements how I play Gia. Like I see a lot of people say that Gia doesn't really need assist, and I kind of agree, but like having the secondary assists when Gen's down just to force them to deal with you a little bit longer. I like to play aggressive and just kind of force people to guess, and Rita's really good at that. Rita's assist is really good at that, and it just complements Gia really well in my opinion.
Yeah, that's great. What else drew you to Rita? Because you've been very interested in like really exploring a character recently and showing off all the stuff she can do.
It's definitely the short hop. Like I love that mechanic. That was one of the things I really enjoyed in like KOF and Marvel Infinite. Is like short hop. I always wish I actually asked Shady a while ago if they would ever add short hop to the game, and he never really gave me like a real answer. But now it's clear that they were kind of planning it for a while now.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, like I just really like how she plays, and I just really like how up close she kind of forces you to make a decision on defense. I like offense where I kind of force people to pick an option and I can play around it. So if like people are trying to throw attack, my 2L plank throw, then I can go in with the overhead. That'll beat whiff throw every time. Things like that. I just want to have a consistent answer to every defensive option. I think she does that pretty well.
That's really good. You've got this strong shell with Gia and Gen complementing Rita. What's sort of your general flow in a game? How do you sort of like? What's your plan A? And
my plan A is round start. I hit them with Gia, and then I tag to Rita. So I'll do 5M, 5S, or 4M plus assist, or any of those options. And if you get hit, I just immediately tag to Rita, kill you for 1 bar, because Rita damage is ridiculous right now. So I just kill you with 1 bar, and then I'll call missiles right before I do my EX, and then the EX will kill. I'll set up Pinwheel Chaos, tag the Gen, and then it's just like it's free reign from there. You can make all of her buttons cross up because of the way that the Pinwheel Chaos pulls you in. Throw will beat Zord counter, and it's actually really difficult to Zord counter Pinwheel Chaos on reaction.
Yeah, and if you Zord counter at the wrong time, if you Zord counter it too early, it still stays out.
Yeah, and then you still get hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got to be really careful of it.
Very strong move for that reason alone, and like I've been working on some different ways to deal with like push block EX and things like that, but definitely think that it's one of the best moves in the game currently.
Really? That's strong.
I would put it like right behind like GF5S. I think GF5S is and Adam 4SH, but I think it's up there for one of the best moves in the game. It's slow, but when you have somebody to back her up and that uses the mix well, like Gen just gets so much out of it. I'm getting like 4-layer mix-ups off every single blocked one. Yeah,
because just the strength of being able to tag out of it when your opponent can't push block it.
Yeah, like characters that can't combo out of their instant overhead, right? Like say you do dog, like I don't know, JL for some reason, or Gen JL, or anyone's JL really. That can't normally get a combo. Like with Pinwheel Chaos behind it, you get a full combo, and it's really strong. And then like you think it would be problematic against characters that can crouch and avoid it, but that's when you get like a free throw basically, or you can force the overhead and make them have to block it again, things like that. That's where the mind game comes into play a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. And I guess the best thing Gen as well is it will, if you get the overhead, they stay grounded, right?
Yep.
So you
and
can
then
B&B.
blink with it. Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So how do you think, like specifically, you mentioned not a lot of people play Rita, and I think a lot of people, when Rita was first announced, or a few teasers were like, oh, this is going to be a really sort of zoning heavy character with all the descriptions and everything that was sort of flying around from like the sort of pre-release stuff and what have you.
Yeah.
How do you feel Rita should actually be played?
I definitely don't feel like she's a zoner. I think that she'll get outzoned consistently by all the true zoners of the game. But she has very strong answers to zoning. JS plus assist, and even just JS solo, right? 1 JS in the death. She has, if you can get Pinwheel Chaos out, it's fine, but the problem is every other zoner can shoot her before it comes out unless you have an assist to take the hit for you, which is what I'll do. I'll call Gen and then I'll backdash and I'll throw the Pinwheel Chaos, let Gen take the hit. And that's kind of why Gen is really good for her, on top of it just being missiles really good. But long duration assists are kind of what you want for her to protect her while she's getting started. But she's more of a mid-range character. You're waiting. Your whole game plan is your 2L is +1. Your 2L is normally +1. So you're going to use that, but then you're dash canceling out of the recovery. So it's probably what, like +3, +2, +3, something like that. So then you have a few options. You can throw, you can float into overhead, you can float into cross-up overhead, or you can float empty low or float empty throw. So those options really force the person to kind of consider how you're going to sequence your offense. And then just float and block is super strong, because when people see float, it's just they automatically want to EX. And that's something that I kind of abused at Frosty, is that people just kind of wanted to swing. So I'll just float, call my assist, and then when the EX is tag, or just block them, punish, and kill them. So I think she just has the average like kind of offensive sequence, which is 2L pling pressure, but I just think she kind of does it better than 99% of the cast right now.
She gets a pretty insane amount of options, and also option selects out of it, doesn't she? So
yeah, so there's a few different things I've been working on, but speaking of OS, is like 171 plus throw tech and push block. If you do it correctly, you'll be able to tech the throw and jump away from like say you're getting caught by throwing your free jump frames, you'll tech it, You also push block if they hit any button. Block the low if they do that after the next string. That's what I've been doing with her. She also has like, her in particular. This is something I've been working on doing. I didn't get to show it at Frosty, but you can super on reaction to Zord counter with her because of her her tracking and the speed of it. It's something that I didn't get to do, but even though she doesn't get a combo after it, it's like 500 damage or 450, something like that. It's a crazy.
That's really interesting because I remember somebody in the EU, like Blue in the EU Discord, figured out like you can just do Z super on the Zord counter.
Yeah,
but he figured it out. He figured it out because he was trying it with Rita and wasn't able to get it to work.
Yeah, you just do it during the like flash. As soon as you see the flash from Zord counter, just do it. Works all day.
There you go.
Yep.
Blue, if you're listening, that works.
And it's pretty consistent. And then she has a pretty good card throw. Her 2H card throw is pretty nice. So H into I think H is -2 or -1. So then you just cancel the card throw and you end up like +1, something like that. So she has some pretty good up close buttons, and she gets to do multi-hit overheads, which is like really crazy in this game because there's only a few characters in the game get to do that.
Yeah, her jumping medium is very just strong at like creating this overhead zone.
Yeah, and it's really good air to air, like hitting Goldar out of his jump buttons. Like you have a privilege button if it can do that pretty regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked a lot about the sort of individual synergies behind Rita. How have you found sort of Gia and Gen? I know you picked them up not relatively recently. You've been on Gia specifically for a while now, I think.
Yeah. I've been playing her for like I think last 6 months or so, something like that. And Gia Gen is like an established shell, right? Like we've seen SDK play it and everything. But I picked it up because, like I said, RJ got killed not killed, but he got toned down in a way that was not the way I wanted to play him anymore. Like he's still an effective character, but for the way I like to play the game is I want to win neutral once, capitalize on the advantage, and then steamroll from there. I don't feel like RJ does that, like as well as Gia or these other characters. So I just stopped playing him. Before, when he could one touch, it was definitely like his game, but now it's just a different time. So that's why I picked up Gia. Gen, like Gen I've always known. I think we've all always known that Gen is like a crazy character, and
Gen has been, I think, top 2 for most of the game's lifespan.
Yeah, she's always been insane, and as we've gotten better at playing Gen, which is crazy. Like it's one of those characters that you're like, oh, she can do that. No one's done that before, and like the B&B was a big one of those. Like when SDK started doing it, I never even considered to do that with her because I didn't even know that her 2L had that much hit stun because you just don't expect it. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
I think everyone sort of just immediately went, oh, Gen is a crazy mix-up character. I guess she's low damage and didn't, like... Grid players don't really lab a lot of the time.
That's true. A lot of people don't lab in Grid, but it turns out she can kill off any grounded hit.
Yeah, there you go. And you're already, like, well into the Blink Finesse. You're a former dog player, so...
Dog taught me, and Dog was way harder of a flank pit too, because I think her 2L, I don't know what it is on hit, but it must be like at least +5 or something ridiculous.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, so definitely.
I think the only Plink for note that's technically easier is Magna's, maybe.
Yeah, because you can do LL, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and his 5L has like a ridiculous amount of hit stun. I think it's like +10 or something.
Yep.
Something stupid.
So I just grinded out. I had SDK kind of help me with the game plan, and I just played with Akara and Joey D and Zebu. Those were my main kind of training partners. And as I got more comfortable with the team, I realized like, wait, this team is just really good, and I should just play this.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was basically it. Cause I was searching for a long time for like a team that kind of fit how I wanted to play the game. I tried Eric. I've tried a lot of characters, but I just couldn't find anyone that felt as effective towards my style of play as Gia Gen. So that's why I play them.
That makes sense. But I was going to say, how do you feel like team building not should work, but how do you think someone would effectively like go about building a team? Like what were some of the like main pointers to look for when you?
I feel similarly to SDK in this fact, but it should be round start, and then I think a little bit differently. I don't think it's only damage engine for your second, but I think your second character should have a good secondary assist, and then I think everyone that plays the game competitively should play Gen. I mean, that might be a hot take, or something, but I think everyone that wants to win should play Gen.
Okay. I mean, you and SDK are currently proving it, so...
Yeah. I think she's just fundamentally works with everyone, and she has, like, the best of almost everything right now, so... Yeah. I think everyone should play Gen, and if you're not playing Gen, you have to play a character that counters Gen, assist, and characters that do that are very limited, but Scorpion is one of those. She just struggles a lot more on point than Gen.
Yeah.
That's what I currently feel like. I feel like it's like almost like the Trini meta was, like where 1.6 where everyone had to play Trini. I don't think it's that crazy where like you have to play it or you're at an extreme disadvantage, but I do feel like Gen is like the answer to everyone's problems. It's like a Doom situation of Marvel 3. It's the same thing now. Gen is the Doom of Marvel of Grid right now. Just how it is.
Yeah. That's fair.
We'll see what comes in the future, but missiles assist is just
it
pretty,
does
pretty
a lot.
absurd. Yeah. Pretty absurd.
It does a lot. Not to mention her absurd mix as well.
Yeah. 2M like, linking in the 5S into an infinite is crazy too.
It's really dumb. But then you've also got like you've got her like theoretical like solo mix, which is like 4-way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of slightly insane.
Yeah, I mean, she has every single option you can watch out of a character. She has a throw conversion too. That's the craziest thing to me. Like, she has all these like left, right, high, lows, and then she also gets a combo off of her throw. It's like it's kind of crazy.
She's like she's also like one of the best characters to use Zord with as well.
Yeah. So all those things together, it makes me like think that, you know, especially the Zord usage. Zord usage is big, and a lot of characters don't really use Zord all that well. But Gen is one of those characters that it's just like she has huge buttons along with the huge Zord attacks, and it's an overhead JL plus a full screen load. Always going to be pretty good, you know, no matter what they do to her. As long as that's an overhead, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, we were struggling for a while trying to figure out what Rita does with Zord as well, and it's just like compared to Gen, who's just like, I've got a hard knockdown.
MMH, 2H, 6H, like it's just so much easier.
It's so easy.
With. Yeah.
That's such a valuable thing as well, I guess, when you're looking at like team compositions, like what Zord are you picking, which is probably Dino or SPD, but how well do your characters individually use it?
Yeah, I definitely think.
How are you planning for stray hits?
I definitely think that having at least one character that has a really easy Zord combo is important. I just feel like it's wasted energy if you have to like really think about how you're gonna convert and things like that. Like I ideally you want it to be as foolproof as it can be. I mean, I guess that goes for normal combos too, but especially for Zord combos, because when you drop a Zord combo, odds are they're gonna have Zord, and then they're just gonna up back and avoid the situation. So like really maximizing your Zord time is like such a huge thing. Like if people get better at that, I feel like games will be a lot more in their favor. I see so many people drop Zord combos and then they just end up losing because the person gets 2 Zords out of it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a similar thing to like not having birthday roots either. If you drop a birthday root, you're just screwed because
the game is basically over as long as the person.
You've given the opponent a Zord. You've given the opponent a Zord, and they get to recover all the blue life as well on the assist. So they get like a Zord and another Zord.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel like Zord, it's definitely better than it was before, but I'd like to see it toned down, like how much Zord you get on assists when hitting them, like especially if they live. I don't know how you would do that, but that'd be kind of nice to see. But
yeah,
I just would like it to be a little bit less, like you said, like a checkmate scenario if you drop a combo. I guess that's like any game, you drop a combo and you potentially lose, but it feels like you're at a significantly bigger disadvantage than other games sometimes, but... No, it's a game.
Yeah, I feel like also making again. Just I think this is probably a pretty universally like wanted change is making the Zords once per, like the actual Zord calls once per game.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing.
That would make the birthday situations a lot less scary because it would be terrifying because you're giving them Zord, but it would mean they don't get like Zord again afterwards because of all the blue life. But there's a lot of things you could probably do to work on it and see. But while you were playing as you've been playing this Rita, Gia, Gen team and during Frosties, have you noticed any sort of weaknesses the team has? Any sort of areas where like the team can get exploited a bit?
Like I said, Rita can get hard zoned, so she's on her own. She can get zoned out unless I have 2 bars. But when I have 2 bars, it's basically like I don't feel like the team really has any dramatic weaknesses. Gia, Gen I guess like Adam can do pretty well against everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Gia really loses to anybody on paper. I guess like Adam is maybe a 5-5, but it's not like it's dramatically bad. But I guess that, and then there's some matchups that I'm not super comfortable with yet, like
Yeah.
fighting Zed. I prepared a lot for Zed because I knew I was gonna have to play against Fear, but that character's round starts are really good. I was kind of hoping that he would keep Zed second, which he did, because I don't want to deal with Zed round start versus G round
Yeah.
start. It kind of feels like a toss up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
So those options, and I really don't. For me, how I play, I don't want to deal with gold artists. I don't like having to kind of play around it the way it is. That's also why I don't like playing against Poisandra. She's also a character that does surprisingly well against Gia. So those are like more of a player kind of thing, but those are the characters that I would say are best at fighting Gia and like best at fighting my team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think the team really has any dramatic problems or anything. I guess the biggest issue with the team would be Rita when she's solo, though. Rita when she's solo is kind of a struggle.
Yeah, I remember a lot of players sort of came to the sort of like understanding that Rita wasn't necessarily like top tier.
Yeah, I'd say she's in the A tier, which is fine. I'm not asking for anything. She's plays how I want to play, and that's all. That's the real reason why I stuck with her. I considered like before Frosty, should I switch to Adam? Should I switch to Chun? Etc. But I chose to stick with her because I enjoyed playing her. And
I think that's super important.
Yeah,
because like obviously you want to play good characters, you want to be playing the good characters in the game, but you also like just in terms of like player expression, it's like it's very important to like I guess the feel of a match. I guess like if you know like how your character plays and you enjoy that actually like contributes so much to how well you do with the character.
Yeah, it's like self-expression in fighting games. It's really a great thing, and when you get to kind of flow, like when I was playing Rita, you can just kind of like feel the confidence. Like I guess while I play through the character, like you can just have the answer ready, like even without thinking about it. It's like with you and Zed, I'd get or like Fear and Sentry, or etc. Like Isaac and Draken, things like that. Like when you just like kind of feel like connected to the character and you kind of just flow naturally.
Yeah. And the good thing about it being a team game is if you've got a character that does have some flaws, like you do have ways to compensate. It's not like be all and end all.
Yeah, that's why I think Rita works so well. Obviously she wouldn't be that great in a 1v1 game, but with just backing her and everything else, she's perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you planning on learning any other characters, or are you content with sticking with this team for the time being? I know I've been sort of labbing a few people, what have you?
I've been playing Poisandra a little bit more. I've been playing Sentry a little more. I played a little bit of everyone, to be honest. But the character I'm most excited for next patch is Ryu. I really hope my two things for Ryu: a little bit less stubby buttons and make the Tatsu So I don't know if you know this, but on two different body types, when you just hit them with raw Tatsu into like the wall bounce, it'll sometimes only hit the assist. And I always hated that. That was actually why I dropped Ryu on this team. I just didn't feel like a stable character. So those are the biggest things I hope for Ryu. But Ryu, from what I've kind of like been hearing through the grapevine, I don't know what's true or not, but I've been kind of hearing like he'll get some range buff a little bit. So I hope that's true.
That could be neat. Also, RJ next patch.
Yeah,
we've seen
RJ. Definitely excited. I want to test out that 5S 6S, the new air blade type move. That looks crazy. And the short hop, or not short hop. I don't know how to describe, but it's basically a short hop. I'll definitely play him. I mean, I like that type of character, so maybe if he can kill and if he has a good round start. He's always had a 3-frame 2L, so up close he'll be fine. I'd probably try RJ, Rita, Gen, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. There's a lot of fun things happening next patch from what we've been teased, so
Yeah, red is also going to be really cool. I definitely would like to try red. I never thought I would play red really, but if he can kill and he'll be an effective damage engine. 3-frame 2L. His assist is already pretty good. That'll be good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Have you got anything else you'd like to talk about? Any other little bits?
So some of the things I'd like to talk about is I saw people kind of wondering why I was getting super, like kind of randomly. It happened to me a few times against gimmicks. So like I said, I was trying to do options. Like this is something everyone should do. Hopefully I can get a clip for people to try this out. But it's you hold 1, so down back, then you're gonna do throw tech plus S. So you're gonna plink the input with 7. So you'll get a jump back and you won't whiff throw if you're not in block stun. And then you just hit 1 again. So if they go low after that, you're blocking. But if they try to throw you, you'll tech it. And if they try to like put you in a block string, you're just gonna push block them away. But the problem
Nice.
is it's like the normal like snap tech OS where if you hit it too many times too fast, you'll get super. And I was not completely adjusted to the PS4 timing, to be honest. So I was missing it. And I was hitting them together, and I would get super kind of fairly randomly.
Yeah. There were a couple of times we hit super, and I think everyone was like, well, it was a little bit, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was just me trying to do the super. I mean, not the super, the option select. And then I eventually kind of gave up on doing it, and I did 7 plus throw instead of, and no S into 1 again. That's the safer option select, and that will tech throws, and then you just push block on reaction to being on block stun.
Okay. Makes sense.
So that's the option select I really hope everyone will kind of implement into their game plan. It's super important.
It's good to know, and I think we could do with more like knowledge about the option selects in grid. There's not a huge amount of like info about them.
Yeah, it's not something that people have like super explained except for the snap tech throw one, but I really think it's like it makes 1v1s like when you're fighting just one character without assists, it makes it really hard for people to open you up if you're doing it correctly and not just kind of mashing or doing it every time, because it just covers all the options. Like against Zed, if I do 1-7-1 plus the throw plus S, if he does like LL, I'll jump back and block it. If he does the 2M, the 5L 2M, I'll block that as well. So it's one of those things that limits, character solo offense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it works against jab pling pressure as well and all that kind of stuff. It's like the real way to deal with jab pling pressure. I think that's the most effective way, because unfortunately snap plus throw OS, you can get thrown out of it, you can get hit out of it. It's just not what it once was. So you kind of have to mix it up with different ones now. But yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. Shoutouts to Joey D, shoutouts to SDK and Kara, as well as Zebu. Thanks for all the training for Frosty, and I hope that everyone will show up for Combo Breaker if we do get an event. I think it will happen, and I hope we just get the game to keep on growing. That would be the best thing for the game, just get more people to show up in majors.
Yeah, get more the offline scene going now that they're slowly coming back, and offline grid is so fun to watch.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's just online.
There was something so different. There's something so different about the energy in like Frosties from like just watching the stream.
Yeah, online tourneys are great and everything, and like never say anything bad about them. They're fun, but like the environment and just the tension and the crowd and just everything else, you'll never capture that from just online only tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, where can people find you if they're looking for? I know you started streaming a bit more recently.
I stream at twitch.tv/evasionhp, and my Twitter is the same thing. I am going to try to stream twice a week from now on. I think it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to try to start doing match analysis for anyone who wants it. So I'll just jump in, stream for like 2 hours, anyone who wants to play, and then I'll probably just go over decision making and like what the person has to work on and things like that. Just hopefully try to help the community kind of improve at a large, because I feel like people kind of know what to do, but they don't unless you point it out to someone, people won't see their mistakes they're making. It's like you always do the same kind of offensive pressure the same way twice, and then you'll mix it up or things like that. Like just seeing people's habits that they haven't really clicked on.
Yeah, that's really, really great, really helpful. So yeah, we'll chat for that. We'll chat for Evasion streaming. That'll be good. And thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.